but she's gonna do something afterward.
The Stevenson.
Would you all please rise and join me in the pledge? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome everybody here to the study session of the Ector County Board. And we'll have a short agenda, but I'm sure a lot to go on. Jesse, your customary,
Well, I said, sir,
do you have a report for us?
I do. So what you guys have in front of you this evening is our month-end report for March. We finished last month with a total of 278 calls for service, 234 of which were completed with a patient transport and/or a refusal of care at the scene. Averages out to be about 9 calls a day, significantly increased from this time last year. All the response times that you see in front of you remain well within the contractual. On interfacility transfers, we took 50 last month. In addition to the 911 calls, 10 of those were emergent, 40 of those were non-emergent. We did have 5 structure fire standbys, either the City of Paris Fire Department or the Community Fire Protection District. I'll go on down to our educational piece of it. Had 7 classes last month, hitting a total of 91 students. 6 of those 7 were our community-based American Heart Association CPR classes that we put on. And one of those was our high school-based EMT course that's still in progress. We did have 7 intercept requests. All were within Crispin Ambulance's territory. And on the second page there, you'll see all the facilities that our 911 patients were transported to. On an operational note, we did have our annual inspections today with the Illinois Department of Public Health and the Carl Regional EMS system. All went without any issues, and we do have, as of last week, 2 new ambulances that we acquired, and they have made it back home with us as of Wednesday. So during this month, I'll be in the process of just finishing up the logistical work that goes with getting them in service. My intent is to have those ambulances inspected by the same bodies that inspected our fleet today, to have those in service and ready to go by May 1st. And do you guys have any questions about either the report or the new units for me?
You say you're getting 2 new ones, I assume. Are you selling 2 or keeping them?
We're not. We're essentially retiring one of the units that's going to go out of the rotation. It'll be repurposed to be an educational vehicle for us. And then the other one, we're not quite sure what we're going to do with it yet, but it is going to be removed from the rotation entirely.
Okay.
We are taking, you don't mind if I?
No, of course.
The existing one that is parked at the education
Right.
center no longer runs.
Right.
So it is being donated to the fire department, and we're gonna do a joint fire training on an ambulance crash with extrication out of an ambulance. Once that is moved to the fire training center, then our oldest one in the fleet is going to be moved as our education and training.
Yeah, so essentially that truck will have one last hurrah. I've worked
Right.
with the city's fire chief to
Right.
get this joint training off the ground. We're looking tentatively at the middle of May to have that, so that is the purpose of that.
So after swapping everything, you'll have 4 operational ones?
We'll have 5 transport
5.
units in total, one of which is just an emergency reserve, and then 4 that can rotate at any time, 24/7. The 5th, we can also tag in as needed, just on that emergency basis.
Refresh my memory on, in the contract, do you have 3?
4.
4, you had to have 4, I couldn't remember for
Yeah.
sure.
3 or 4, I thought it was 3. You have to have 4.
We have to have 3
Okay.
per the
That's what I
contract.
thought, yeah.
2 that remain in the county at all
Okay.
times, and 1 is a spare.
Okay.
But we also have to do transfers, which requires us to have that fourth
I
unit.
knew you had to have 3 in.
So we have to have 4 with the 5th
Okay.
spare, yeah. And we've used that 5th as education and training.
Okay.
Any other questions of Jesse? Thank you, Jesse. We come to a portion of public comment.
What are you staring at me for, Jeff?
I don't know. 16 years worth of looking at you, I
Has
know
it
pretty
been that
much.
long?
How about 12, 11?
I don't know, how about that, Dan?
I have a public comment,
Yes, sir.
and it deals with the sale of the jail.
Yes.
Have you, or are you going to get that building and property appraised?
To answer your question directly, this advertisement of seeking for bids is actually the start of a process, which includes, but not necessarily all encompassing, the possibility of appraisal, historic considerations, let's see. It'll have to be investigated for life safety issues. There's all kinds of different things. In the law, according to the state's attorney and according to other people I've heard, it's very specific about how we approach it. It's not an easy process, so we're gonna have to go through that.
Okay, just check.
No, we've got our top people on.
I'm just glad you're starting early.
Well, and it's a
The sooner you
process.
get rid of that thing, the better.
It's a process.
And what would be the names of those top people that are on this?
I'm sorry, to protect the innocent.
Is part of it considered a historical building or?
Well, it could be. We have to find out.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
we've
don't think
even
that's
talked about, just a second, I'm taking your time. You don't start talking. At any rate, the stones at the back part of the jail are made, it would be really nice to repurpose those in
Yeah.
some way, shape, or form. There's other things in that jail that should be considered.
I just wondered.
So all of those things,
I've heard both
hopefully.
sides, both ways.
Has that tunnel been completely filled in between the jail and the courthouse? From end to end?
Yeah,
Okay.
as I filled in, it's blocked, I was in it one time.
Yeah, it's not filled in, it's just, there's concrete
It's
blocks
blocked out.
sealing
It's
off
not filled in.
both ends of it.
I was in
So,
it.
so somebody couldn't buy it and tunnel their way into the courthouse? Asking for a friend?
Yeah,
Kirk, in regards to the jail, the appraisal, I've not found it in the county code, but I know it's in case law. You have to have an appraisal and you can't sell for less than 80% of the appraised value. The historical society issue is a simple, you take photographs, you contact the historical society, they make a determination whether it is a historical structure. That plays a role because if you're gonna sell it to someone that intends to tear it down, you have to disclose that it has historical value because they're not gonna get to tear it down. So that's something to, whoever your people that are on top of it,
now they could tear down part of it, right?
you would have to ask your legal
I
advisor.
just wondered. Yeah.
But the historical society is one element of it. The other one that you may or may not have given any thought to, if you recall what started the watchdogs to begin with, was dispatch in 911. That main building was built with 911 money. Will 911 see any of that money if it's sold? That's a question I have. I'm not expecting an answer now. But there's also a 99-year lease that the 911 board has with the sheriff's office in that building. So how will that 99-year?
Not necessarily in that building, as I understand. As long as we give them a place, according to previous. Right.
We published the lease, it's been a while since I've read it, but
Right.
back to dotting the i's, crossing the t's, there is a 99-year lease.
Right, for $1.
How is that going to impact with whatever you're gonna do with this jail versus where
Right.
they may or may not go? And then the third prong, the state police is in control of 911. How does that impact, who owns the equipment after that law was changed to where they're in charge? Is the state do they have to get involved in any of that process? Those are all things that I would suggest you look into. You already covered the per diem and salary thing, so I guess we're good on that. Thank you, appreciate it.
It is not a small deal,
Oh, I
getting rid of I'm sorry, that sounds terrible, but figuring out what we're gonna do with the old jail is gonna be.
National Guard might need some demo training. Be an intergovernmental agreement with the feds. Wait, I didn't say
Well,
that.
anyway, it's a process that we're gonna start and figure out where we're
Just
gonna
throwing
go.
ideas out.
Yep. Maybe we could do it the same way we're doing that one vehicle.
There you go. Just destroy everything.
Yeah.
Little humor, very little, but a little.
We keep it light, right?
Any other public comment? I'm sorry, did I cut you short,
I'm
John?
good, you're good. You guys are doing a fine job so far tonight.
Oh, well, thank you.
Notice I said so far tonight.
Yeah, yeah. All right, moving along to committee reports.
Randy called me and said there's another light out on courthouse. So he said, I think they replaced, he goes, I'm just gonna replace all of them. Because
With something that doesn't burn
or
out.
something that I was a little disappointed that those didn't last any longer than they did. But, so anyway, he said, can I just replace them all now? So yes. So somehow they're getting up there, Samantha and Lisa, and they're replacing those lights. So someone has access to that, to do something with those lights.
I heard a
Get in through
new,
the tunnel.
I heard a new county board member was gonna hang by their toenails out there and do that.
Ain't no way I'm gonna do that.
Which one? Which one?
I'm way too old for that, I'm not doing it.
He's the biggest one.
One of the things that we need to talk about right now is we had a pork comp audit. And we paid, all the board, we paid $74,000 last year in premiums. Then we got our audit and it turned out that we owed them an additional $84,000, which is outrageous. Part of the issue, and we've resolved some of it, is that anytime we hire somebody to do work for the county, their holiness, we have to have insurance.
A contractor.
Right, a contractor, a maintenance guy, somebody trimming the trees, anybody working, we need an insurance certificate including work comp. Because what they did last year was they looked at all of our contracts, and where we did not have a certificate, they charged us the work comp. So we can reverse that, and we are in the process of doing that. But whether it's somebody working on the furnace, or we need to have something on file. Augie is going to handle, right, Augie?
Yes, sir.
To handle the filing and making sure that when we do get an audit, that we're able to go, here's the folder with our, okay? But Ray needs to, go ahead.
So I'm sorry I missed department heads because I was dealing with
Yes.
different set of state people. But in the department heads meeting, did we talk to them about any time that they start a contract with any outside or internal entity that they ask for a certificate of credible coverage?
I would say yes, but I think we need to hammer that home over and over again. And we did not have the health department there, and so we need to make sure that they're aware of that also.
Yeah, because, for that exact reason, you will be on the hook for any workman's comp.
Now,
if
they're
you do
gonna
not
take
have-
it off once we could prove that they had insurance.
Right. I am used to a checklist of any time I'm onboarding a new contract, that I have to have specific language, indemnification clauses, termination clauses, et cetera, in the contract, copies of W-9s, copies of certificate of credible coverage, et cetera, or they're not allowed to do business with the organization. So I'm wondering if that would be like beneficial for the department heads to have some sort of checklist anytime that they're engaging in a vendor, per se.
Yeah,
I'm checking
I think that'd be
Yeah, I don't,
excellent.
goes without saying that we need to protect the taxpayers, and we need to protect the employees
This
every
is,
way possible.
this is the first time they ever made that known to us.
That's correct.
Right now.
Now, they have asked for the dentist's insurance, the dental, out there at the health department. We do have those available, but Pam wasn't aware of some of the other things.
Okay.
So I just make everybody aware, including you new guys.
Anybody you hire has to
Yeah.
have,
Yeah.
all right, want
As a
a
contractor.
like a copy of the list of what you ask for, because like he just said, we've never been asked that before and never
Yeah.
paid on that,
So
so
in
what's the next thing they're
in
gonna
an
spring on?
insurance audit, especially, a year-end annual audit, they'll want a file of every, typically, what I'm used to, they want a file of every contractual, entity that you've entered into an engagement with. And if that entity is not insured appropriately, then that can raise your liability for engaging with an underinsured contractor.
We need to get with JR,
Yeah, we do,
On
and I need
that.
to know what,
because they
What
didn't
limits?
mention the other I-9s or anything else to us. Of course, if you're aware of what the I-9s are, that's.
I add something to that, Jeff.
Yeah, please.
Two other things. One, we've seen, working with a lot of public bodies, on the insured, kind of like we did at the airport years ago, the insurance certificate has to name the county on their certificate as, coverage. But make sure the department heads are contacting the provider to make sure it's a valid certificate, because we've seen people get insurance to get the job, and they can't make the premium, so they cancel it. But you're looking at a certificate that looks fine and dandy, but they don't have any insurance.
Yeah, you're validating the dates of coverage and the named bodies that are covered. And so that,
Yep.
for this, it would need to be the county and then the date of service coverage.
Carl? Additionally, the health insurance, we were informed we need to start working on that, because in order for Paycom to get charged up for all of that, I believe that Nancy's office has contacted Kirk to see where we're at. Of course, what the issue we have is, so you're aware, to get a quote out of them,
all right?
our policy starts October 1. It terminates September 30th, starts October 1. And they don't like to give us a firm premium.
Because they don't know what the loss run for the last policy was.
Right.
That's the
So
problem.
I don't know where they're at with talking. They made Kirk aware that somehow we've got to have a change. The problem I had identified though is that they're gonna, if we force them to do that, they're gonna hedge their bets.
Right.
And it's gonna make the policy be higher, because they're not gonna wanna take a chance. So I don't know how we resolve that.
Well, ACOM works for us.
I understand, but I'm just pointing this out as an issue that we need to start looking at and identifying. As part of education for the new guys, and so everybody becomes involved and that we've got a hands-on group, okay? I'm probably going overkill on some of this stuff, but I'd rather do that than not, okay? Anything else, Andy?
No.
How's the shelter doing?
Pretty good.
How many cats we got?
Andrew's on TV over the weekend up in
I saw
Southern.
that.
She had a litter of puppies.
She did?
Well, she had a litter with her. She said all of them were adopted out that day, which is kind of unusual. Saw Linda at Walmart today. She's injured. I don't know if you knew that or not.
No,
Yeah, she had eye surgery.
we really shouldn't talk about that.
Okay, well,
Get the public.
She's still working, that's the reason why I brought that up. She had an injury, she's still working, but the numbers are down, around 40, so it used to be over 50. And they're still investigating the break-in. They think they know who did it, but they can't prove it. So we're putting in some new cameras, maybe that'll help a little bit. So
Okay.
other than that, we're okay.
And you have a meeting April 13th?
I don't know, it's in April, I'm not sure the date, but
I
you
think.
probably know. I'll check it. 13th,
Next Monday,
okay.
maybe?
Where's that one at?
Right here.
Courthouse.
All right.
Animal shelter.
It's not here?
That's it.
I said I was sorry like 4 times.
Usually 12, usually noon.
It's posted. I
Yeah,
think they post it, what, once a year?
yeah, it'll be posted.
Okay. Anything, Samantha?
Yep, in your packets, you have a proposed drafted intergovernmental agreement. The ETSB subcommittee and our subcommittee met to try to do some negotiations to get a current intergovernmental agreement signed. The state's attorney, based off of the ETSB's recommendations and a couple that were brought up, he made some corrections last Friday. This was all updated in the sample that you have, so I would like for you to review it and get back with me if you are ready for this to go to the chairman of ETSB. They have a meeting scheduled mid-April, so I would like for them to have some time to review it ahead of time so that they can come back to us with any additions or corrections.
When was that meeting scheduled, do you remember?
The business meeting, you mean?
The one after that we were gonna,
I don't believe we set a
We
date on
wanted to
that.
do it that sometime that week, but we haven't come up with a date.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's being determined. I don't believe we came up with a firm date yet.
Okay.
Yes.
Any questions on that intergovernmental agreement
Can you give
thus
us a
far?
Cliff Notes version of what the agreement entails?
It's just an updated version of, the previous agreement was a one-pager. And so this one references the laws that govern it, who is responsible for what, more data required for the ETSB to give to the board so that the board can issue an invoice quarterly, so there's a paper trail on where the money is going and for what service.
Oh, this dispatcher related that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The last one that we could find that had been on file was 2024, so we felt like a needed updated one.
But it was very abbreviated.
Correct, it was a
Basically just
one-pager.
said the date, how much, and the signatures. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but not by much.
Yeah,
So this one is,
feel free to give me any feedback. The other thing, I did go to Springfield on Monday to attend the data center update. Andy Kite did a good job. I have copies of the slides, but it is essentially a rinse, wash, repeat of the solar, wind, battery storage, in that we are going to be, in my opinion, paying Andy to draft a county ordinance of which we have this much control because the state has taken pretty much all control away from county. For whether it's a zoned or an unzoned county really makes little to no difference. A zoned county didn't have a whole lot more control than an unzoned county because of the state's regulations that they have put in. He did recommend if we were going to pass a moratorium to study to get our ordinance, that we have a very short timeline, because he felt like the moratoriums that were passed on solar and wind forced the state to take more control. And he did make a comment that there were already probably data centers around in our county, just not of the magnitude that Amazon, Meta, those types of ones that we were looking at. But that data centers did typically join into where there were very large solar farms. Because they have to typically generate their own power and have their own water source.
I'm surprised that if we're in an unzoned county that we can even do.
We can do things like we did with solar and wind, like setback requirements, noise studies, decommissioning. We can have some of those types of things.
Because we can't do anything with standalone battery if we're not zoned. So I'm surprised that this isn't the same. Interesting.
What do you mean we can't do anything with standalone batteries? Because
If we're not zoned, we can't do an ordinance, was the
To
last.
regulate.
To regulate,
Battery storage.
You gotta have zoning to regulate.
yeah.
But you're saying that there are things that.
There were minimal things that we could control, that we
Like-
could add. He recommended either tagging into our solar and wind ordinance because they were very similar, or having a different ordinance that addressed the things that we could control.
Okay.
So I probably would make the recommendation that you reach out to Andy Kite and get it scheduled to get, or Philip does, to get us on his radar for drafting an ordinance, as I'm sure he's drafting them for multiple counties.
Be just a boilerplate one.
Correct,
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you.
You mentioned solar, and this is off the subject of data centers, but do you recall, Lisa, in the solar ordinance, as far as access and any penalties, are there any penalties if we can't get in there? And the reason I raised this, the Kansas facility has got massive debris, signs, concrete blocks. We couldn't get in there if we tried. It looked like somebody just backed a dump truck up and started dumping stuff.
Really, because I came that one time that we had somebody from the solar company come, and he was from like out east or
Right.
something, so that you guys, because the padlocks and all were an issue.
Yeah, well, his number, no luck, but the entrance is completely blocked with debris. I mean, you couldn't drive in there if you wanted to. Nobody could. So I don't know whether our ordinance has any type of enforcement or not. I don't recall. It's been a while since I read it.
I don't believe it does.
You know, I can tell you
For
emergency services
access.
couldn't get in there if we wanted to.
Well, under the AIMA part of it, you know, there's certain things about noxious weeds.
Yeah.
I think there's something in there about keeping the place clean and stuff. I don't know about the access. I don't remember specific on that, but
I do know that when he said that one of the things that could be reimbursable back to the county if it was in the ordinance was emergency services response to the facility. And so I'm not sure if that's in our solar ordinance or not, but.
Yeah, it's in our ordinance that they have to pay for any materials and training. If that's,
No, it would be like if we responded to a data center and we expended $35,000 in man hours fighting a fire at a data center, that they would have to reimburse the county for the costs associated with any emergency service response to their location.
that's in there, I think. And I know there's something in there about a building and a county building and code inspector can inspect. I'm not sure what they inspect, but they have the right for inspection.
Yeah.
This trash that you say, is that a purposeful, done on purpose to keep people out?
I have no idea. It looks like 3 different loads of concrete and debris from the gate out towards 49. And then probably 20 yards in from the highway, looks like it was a big sign that was blown over, and there's a bunch of debris around the sign. So you couldn't drive in that drive entrance if you wanted to.
They're on the southeast corner. of the
Yes, sir.
site. Yeah.
Yep.
That's all I had.
And you were talking about the data center and they were needing big solar farms. I know with the one out here east of town, that's 1,500 acres roughly. But then there's another company just south of there that they have roughly 2,500 acres just across the state line. And they're getting close to 1,000 acres on the Illinois side. But, I mean, the plan for that is to hook into those 2
Power
energy lines. But, you know, I guess that could change, you know, if for some reason there'd be a data center. but more than likely that would be over in Indiana, more than likely. But, you know, anything's possible, because obviously they gotta have water,
Yeah,
and with the Wabash River,
Yeah, Andy basically said if they're coming in to set up a data center and it's so many tens of thousands of square foot, they're gonna go to Ameren and Ameren's gonna say, oh, you're not hooking into our lines and having that draw and that power. So they these large ones like Meta down in, is it Alabama that Meta's proposing down there? They're looking at doing their own standalone nuclear power plant along with the data center to power the data center. And then it's a closed loop, water cooling on site. So they'll put up a giant water tower and fill it to close the loop. But if the water tower ever springs a leak, how do they plan on refilling that type of thing? So there was some discussion like that, that it's kind of unfeasible to say that this giant data center is gonna come to Edgar County and just plug into our transmission lines and draw the Twin Lakes dry. But also there are things that the county can put in an ordinance to have some oversight. Again, I have the slides, I'm happy to share them with you all, but Andy seems to be the expert.
Have we heard anything from Andy or the APA people on if they're doing towards the building permit, any timeline of any sort? We haven't, so since back in October, November, when we approved that, we haven't heard a thing from
Haven't heard a
them.
thing.
They said, as I recall, and you may check me on it, they said they thought it was gonna be May till they got to us.
Yeah, I
But
haven't
this
heard
year.
anything.
I hadn't heard anything, I just didn't know whether we heard anything or not.
Anything else, Samantha?
I'm finished, thank you.
Carl?
Nothing.
Lisa?
Very little.
No, good.
Yeah, I can imagine. I did communicate back with the solar folks for what they're calling the Whitetail Project, which is the one down by Grandview, solar, and that was just answering some questions. There's supposedly gonna be another, community one going in, near, basically across the road from the one that you've communicated with the city. And this other one, I believe would also be the same kind of setup.
What about the one out by Harrington Trucking?
That's
About
what I'm
40
talking
acres.
Yeah. So there could be another one coming up. I would assume we will talk about it, but we would handle the same way.
And that's kind of turning it over to the city to regulate.
Yeah. We did have department head meeting. Went well, smoothly. We talked about just making sure departments realized that they had access and were using financial reports from Dawn, the treasurer. Our next meeting is June 8th at 3 p.m. at the Government Center. The only other thing I had to talk about was, thank you very much, guys. Want to keep us straight on the right path. Yeah. So as far as, since we have learned that we cannot do per meeting reimbursement, and taking a look at per diem, when I did the salary survey study, it was a challenge because it is voluntary to find 5 counties of similar population to compare. And really it was all around, all across the board. So taking a look at per diem, some have per diem and a salary, some have only per diem, some have only salary. But for those that had a per diem, for the 5 counties that I could find that were somewhat similar, the per diem was 75, 45, 125, 275, or 87. So,
87.
87,
What was the lowest one?
45.
That sounds good.
So,
20.
I thought you said 200 would be, or 500, you wouldn't care.
He said that, not me. We're in conflict here.
so I think what we need to talk about is how many times, because I know I do because I come to Furthest, but how many times that you have one county board meeting, do you try to schedule another one within the same day or back to back?
Same time.
Because we want to recognize that without going over. But I know for me, if at all possible, I have 2 meetings so that I'm not coming down here twice and not spending a lot, charging a lot of mileage. But what about the rest of you? Because I don't know what your meetings all are.
If I don't do it back to back, I'm gonna charge for one meeting. I never charge for one.
Okay?
But as chairman, and you're gonna have a new chairman, you're gonna wind up with an 8:30 meeting and maybe a 4 o'clock meeting, and several in between from time to time. You're gonna be traveling to Coles County down to Effingham for meetings for the Job Corps. You've got, one of you is gonna have to go to the educational meetings over in,
Early meetings?
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, there are meetings that take place, there's quite a few
Right.
meetings.
Which would be singles,
Yeah,
yeah.
Can I ask a qualifying question about the per diem? What is the definition of per diem? Because from my
Per
organization,
day.
is 1 day?
24-hour period.
Hmm.
So if you have 5 meetings in one day, you know, turn in $50.
or whatever it's
Whatever
assigned.
it's set at.
Whatever
Yeah.
the meeting is.
Yeah, as opposed to per
Or
meeting.
if you recognize that, you could increase the salary
Yeah.
for a regular board
You
member.
can't do it during your time, like I can't do
No.
it in my time.
No, it has to be,
Right.
whatever we're doing now is for the new board members
Right,
coming
new board
in.
members, correct. Right. I understand that.
Before.
So, right, so we're looking at 2 different things, which I think we had pretty well discussed, that we felt like we wanted to keep the salaries the same, which was $1,500 for a county board member per year and $2,250 for county board chairman per year. And so if we agree that that's what we're proposing, then we're only looking at per diem. But this isn't my decision. What do we want to propose? Do we propose leaving those 2 salaries alone, or do we take a look at those as well?
Well, it's not gonna affect us, it's gonna affect the ones coming in, right?
Well, it'll affect,
It won't affect us because we can't change.
It won't affect
Or affect you.
Right, it won't affect me.
right, it won't affect me right away either.
Right.
Right.
Right, because you still got another year, so
2
you
years.
can't
2
change.
years, yeah.
So it affect only the new ones coming in.
I think from the newest county board member and the one that isn't staying on, I have kind of an objective view of it. For me, as a working individual, trying to schedule, like today, we were supposed to have 3 meetings, they were built around trying to be all together. So I personally would be in favor of, if that's the way it's gonna continue to be, raising the per diem to just have a per day, versus, and trying to keep the meetings all together. I think it's really difficult to have an hour meeting here, as Jeff said, and then 9 hours of a gap, and then another meeting late into the evening, or spreading them out day after day after day after day. Just my 2 cents on it. I didn't join the board for the salary or the meeting pay either. And I don't charge mileage except if I'm going to Springfield, so.
What
What's
was the average of the 5 counties? The average. You took the lowest and the highest. That's what the average was for those 5 counties. $100 per diem?
Add them all
Probably.
up, divide by 5.
Yeah, if you run out that outlier of $240,
I know.
you
You got-
can't,
Yeah,
you
Yeah.
can't include that.
Right.
yeah. 125 basically, yeah.
I suggest making that
Making it that,
125
that's a
for
lot.
next year, or for June.
I think that's a
So
lot.
Majority of the time, we only have one meeting a day.
A lot of times we have like a 15-minute special meeting and then a regular meeting. So you're turning in the 15-minute $50 meeting and another $50 meeting lasts an hour and a half.
Well, I've had up to 5 or 6 meetings a day.
Yeah.
Quite honestly, and
Right.
I only put down for one.
Yeah.
I don't ever put down mileage for one thing,
Right, I don't either.
but,
I don't live that far. I don't know. I just want, if you get an average, and it wouldn't hurt to pay the average.
well, then something else you gotta look at is, from a budget standpoint,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how many meetings we have, but, you know, you could make possibly doubling the total cost of the salary for the county board while we budget.
Well, we have,
When, like I say, majority of the time, you only have one meeting a day. And if you
we
start,
have 15 committees, and if they meet once a month with 3 people, that's 45 slots once a month for a roundabout.
When does this need to be decided by?
tomorrow or Wednesday.
By Wednesday?
Yeah. You gotta do it 6 months prior to the,
Unless you wanna have a special meeting in another week or 2.
Do we get
Which
paid?
everybody gets paid for.
I got time, 180 days.
yeah, you could,
We could put it off a month,
You
but
could.
would we make a better decision if we put it off a month, or would we be making the
Yeah.
same decision?
That's up to you guys.
if,
I mean,
if
So-
we could wait, technically you could wait till May, cause then that'd be November, that's
Correct.
6 months, and
That'll give us time to pick at your pay raise.
Not ours.
Not mine.
Is it mine?
Yeah.
Okay, and
Oh,
this is,
yours won't change for 2.
and Jeff and I had also talked about, because I had mentioned, and I think it's because of the timing of when I came on board, and the draft that Augie prepared for us that's in your packet, therefore be it further resolved that for any scheduled meetings representing the county, either in person or by electronic means, for districts 2, 3, 4, 5, shall be compensated X amount per meeting. So, and Jeff and I had talked about it, because I said I really wanted it more clarified what an official meeting was. And,
Yeah.
Not picking up the phone and saying, hey,
Yeah.
how you doing?
right, if it's a scheduled meeting with an agenda, so a Zoom call, like if you've done UCCI by Zoom, or I do UCCI by Zoom sometimes, or sometimes rural meetings, so.
If it's a committee meeting, you gotta be on a committee, I found that out, because I attended a committee meeting, I wasn't on committee, and I had to get the money back.
There is that,
So you
yeah.
gotta be on that committee if you attend the committee meeting as a secretary. Found that out.
so you want us to think about it and
What's
Maybe
your proposition? What's your, like, to go to the per diem?
We have to go to per diem.
Yes. And so then
So
the question is,
How much?
what is
the
the
per diem
most
rate?
appropriate per diem?
Right.
So if we're saying per day, and right now, if there's one meeting, it's $50.
Right.
What's the proposal on the table?
I'll have one.
Well, I heard you say you wanted an
125,
average.
yeah, the average.
Yeah,
Said the average.
125.
I heard him say he wanted 45, but I haven't heard anybody
I was
else.
teasing.
So
Not on the board.
125 is pretty representative, and then I also kind of scanned through other counties, which trying to not look at the higher population ones. The question being, is 125 appropriate compared to 150, based upon how many times on the same day we usually have meetings? Because we're not looking to over reimburse.
How much do we have budgeted currently for
I think it was
meetings?
38,000,
26,000.
26 for the year.
Yeah.
And that is, there's an error there that I haven't talked
I don't,
to finance about, or the treasurer's office or Augie's office about. Somehow somebody got $750 into a line item that doesn't exist for meetings. So you have to add the two together. If you know what I'm talking about, if you've got that in front of you. That would be page 16. Down there, 9505 does not exist, is not budgeted for, and somehow $750 got assigned there. So that needs to go back up to, add to $8,075.
What department was that?
County board.
so it needs to go back up into committee meetings
Yes.
instead of county board meeting
Yes.
expense.
Yes.
Okay. So we're budgeted at $26,000 annually. By the end of this report, which is March 31st, we were running at 31%, so
you have 9
just
months
a
in there.
shy under budget for the year.
And there has to be some kind of an error in 5,000, because all of us, we shouldn't be at 41%. What I did was I took 6 times 125 times 12, and then the chairman is $87.50 times 12, and added it together, and that came out to $11,250. And for some reason, we're way over, which I need to look
I
at.
don't think we're way over, I think we're one payment over, is what it's showing. Because we should be sitting around 33, and it's at 41.
Yep.
So that would say that either somebody's already turned in April got paid on this March, or.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out, just so you'll know, since we're looking at it.
So we could go somewhere between $50 and $125 and just settle it at
On a
100.
per diem basis, if you go to the studies, 2 study sessions plus the county board meeting, that's 3. And if you have another committee meeting, potentially 4 or maybe even 5, you take 5 times the 125, and by the all 7 board members, that's $4,300 a month times 12. You're looking at $51,000, and that's doubling
Yeah.
the,
That's what I was thinking, that's
Yeah.
real pretty,
so 125 really is
kinda hefty.
out of
Well, do you
line.
want to leave it, do you want 75? Going from 50 to 75?
That would cover the days like today where there's 3 or 4 meetings in a row. I mean,
Right.
I get it on the days where there's 1, like the county board
Right.
day, where there's
Right.
1, you're gonna get 75 versus 50, but it's also making up for the ones where they stack.
And remember, we don't have to turn it in.
Correct, yeah, there's times where you just don't turn the meeting in, yeah.
Like I've been stuck at the jail like 1 o'clock, and I've been, here 5 hours later, I'm still
Yeah.
doing stuff. And I've
Happens
gone
all
to
the
turn
time
one
now.
meeting. Do what?
It happens all the
Oh,
time
yeah.
since we're having such a good time.
Yeah, quite a bit.
I personally would say somewhere
Well, you
between
got
50 and
11, so you got
75.
Yep.
Say what?
Well,
Between 50 and 75, somewhere between there. I think leaving it at 50 kind of hurts the oncoming board members if they're trying to
Especially the
work
chair.
and stack meetings all together. It's a little bit unfair to them, but my personal opinion.
What's the 75, just throwing it out, what do you guys think?
It depends on how many meetings we're having every day, how long we're gonna be here.
Well,
But I
And
guess I'm
again-
looking at, I don't think any of us are here for
Right.
the money.
Right.
So, I mean, how many of you
Right.
have said, we got 3 meetings, we're trying to have one? You know, so you're looking at $50,
Right.
whether,
Right, but now if we put the per diem at 75, you know, if you have one meeting, you get 75, if you have 3, you still only get 75.
It all kind of
Averages out.
I think we should add in the spectator fee that Dan was talking about. I like that one.
Yeah, double it if they have a camera.
sell tickets.
Do you really wanna go there?
Okay, are we all
75
pretty
sounds
comfortable with 75?
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
leave the salary the same, go with
Nice to
75.
you guys.
Yeah, we didn't raise the salary at all, so.
And remember, that won't affect the budget. You can
Correct.
plan for it,
Yeah, well,
next year's
well,
budget.
like this.
which is another story for another time.
Oh, come on.
Okay, and then the other thing is, Augie, the draft that you gave us has, on the back page, it has sheriff on it, so that needs to be removed.
On the back page it has sheriff.
The second page of the resolution.
Actually, on the first page, it says, number 5, down, it says we're a sheriff providing due services.
It gets a stipend. Yeah, the state pays the salary,
Okay.
Okay,
and, but he does get a stipend.
of $6,500.
Okay,
Yeah.
In addition.
and so the sheriff, the thing on
It's
the
just
back is good too.
we're supposed to disclose that.
Okay.
And you
Okay.
cannot add the stipend, can't consider that with salary, but
But disclose it. and
just
this is the place.
disclosing it's all
Okay.
we're doing there,
All right.
honestly.
Yeah, the state sets several of the salaries.
Right.
And some offices get a stipend and some do not.
So then the way it's sitting, you wanna just change 50 to $75 per diem.
Per diem, yeah.
Yes.
And we wanted to talk about Paycom
Please.
I wonder about that.
on COVID.
Yeah. Because it's on the agenda, I'm sure they want to know what we're talking about. We're looking at approval of expanded service from Paycom. And we want to let you know why, so you can be thinking about it.
Right, in Nancy having, this all started when we had one employee that, we needed to make sure that we provided information about COBRA, and in communicating with Augie's office and finding out that, the previous process was incomplete to comply with law. And there's actually several steps to it and quite a bit involved. And last time that Jeff and I and Paycom and payroll met, of course, Paycom can offer a lot of services and everything costs more. But, and now I do not have in front of me the additional cost for having them deal with COBRA and make sure that we are in compliance. And I apologize, I do not know that dollar amount, but I will get it from Nancy before Wednesday, so that we have that.
What do we pay for Paycom a month? 3,000, isn't it? Paycom per month?
What do we pay Paycom per month?
About $4,600, I think.
Okay.
Do you remember the amount that it was gonna go up to add in the COBRA?
I could not remember that, and I did not write it down.
It was in that report we got. Hang on a second, guys. I don't know whether I got the right one here. I don't think I had it. Remember it had a screenshot?
Do the incoming board members know what they're talking about on Paycom, or it's important right now?
Oh, we can talk about that. We have
I don't understand it, but I just sign up every month.
You do what?
I just,
It's okay, Lisa.
okay, my check every month.
Don't. I thought maybe Jeff would remember it.
It seemed like it was $650 now. $650.
If I,
I don't know, I don't wanna say.
Okay, I'll have to get back.
And there was two things, if we did them together,
Right.
it was cheaper, the setup was almost half or less than half.
But we didn't want the.
We're gonna have to look that up and have that
Yeah.
available tomorrow or Wednesday.
I'll get that from
I'm
Nancy.
sorry.
Okay.
But at any rate, we need to be doing a better job of reporting those functions to our employees on a regular basis.
You guys understand what Paycom is? They have no idea what it is.
It's the payroll system that we use.
And it's a self-help, supposed to be. And then the supervisors
very
check.
confused.
I understand that, I've dealt with that
All
before.
right.
Yeah.
Where you go in and log your own time and your own meetings.
All right, anything else there, Lisa?
No, I don't have anything else.
Oh, handed you this. This is up to date as of March 31st. This is where every Fund 100, that we have highway department budgets, we've got budgets for work comp, for IMRF, which is the retirement fund. We've got TORC, which is the insurance fund. Those are budgeted separately. But the county government itself operates pretty much on Fund 100. And that budget is for $6,932,000 worth of expenses against $6,926,000 versus $6,923,000. So we basically have a surplus of $3,000 of expenses, or revenues over expenses. And right now, there's 33% of the year gone, and our budget's sitting at 29%, roughly 29% of the budget spent. Of particular interest is the sheriff's budget, which is always the most active and makes up the largest portion of the budget. And right now, it is sitting at 29%.
What page are you on?
I'm on page 13. Overtime is still a little up hot. We're at 31 for road deputies overtime, correctional officers at 35, and dispatch overtime is at 30%.
And the sheriff's office runs on Paycom too, so they adjust their own
That's all,
hours?
yes, that's all on Paycom. What?
What page you on? You said 13?
12,
12 on that.
yeah, I've switched pages.
13 is where the bottom line is.
Okay. So, and we've been through 7.5 payrolls, so we got 18.5 to go. So that's roughly 30% of the, so we're a little hot on payroll right now in the sheriff's department. So we're gonna have to watch that and talk to the sheriff and or Jacob about it. But I wanted to make this available so you can take a look at it for the next couple of days, and then we can talk about it more if you have any questions. And you can always pick up the phone and call me if you got particular questions, if you drag something out. You wanna know.
Specifically on the sheriff's, in page 12, bottom page 12, I see we have 0 budgeted in telephone.
Yes, that's one of my, I have that circled.
Okay.
That should not be, I've got to get to the bottom of
Yeah,
that.
because that was very expensive last year, so.
Yes.
So when you were circling items earlier, when you were going through the budget, were you looking for items that were above the 33%?
No, I was circling items that had no budget.
Okay.
because we shouldn't be,
It was a curiosity, it's
No, no.
kind, I'm not judging anything you
No,
were
no.
doing, I just wondered what you were doing.
no, I was circling items that represented no budget.
So you said we're 33% through.
Yes.
So if all of these are below 33%,
They're doing
Well,
a little bit better
They're
than,
doing better, but it's,
but
the
still early.
patient is still not well. Okay?
That just means we got $3,000 at the end of the year.
Yeah.
That's it.
yeah.
Well, we do have surpluses, which that doesn't include. We don't budget, we don't rebudget funds from year to year. In other words, if we've got, we started, what, 16 years ago, Carl, with $700,000-800,000 in the hole. And we're now approaching $1 million to the good.
Oh, good.
Okay? But we need that kind of reserve in order to guarantee our flexibility with our bonds and our investments and all
Well, and
that.
potential overages, I understand that.
Right, we need to have something for a rainy day in case there's a problem. Without sticking it to the taxpayers, quite frankly. Okay? So, a lot of material there to look at. Please remember, and we'll go over it on Wednesday, most of, if you look at the first couple of pages, you'll see that, you know, we're only 12% of sales tax, we're only 12% of income tax, and so forth and so on. We're 3 months behind on collecting because we're on the accrual basis. So, the December, January, and February actually counted towards last year. So we've got to go through December, January, and February of 2027 to get caught up.
Who reviews the overages of the sheriff's department budget with the sheriff? Does Carl do that?
Well, we
We
do.
do.
As a group?
Well, we should. We're going to. Yes.
There's a public safety committee meeting, which.
But,
Again, just curious.
no, you're fine.
Is there any way that you can make, because you're on the accrual system, that makes it look like we haven't brought much in?
Right.
But can't we somehow accommodate somewhere for that so we,
Well,
otherwise, I really don't know where we're at. Do you? Probably
well,
more than I do. But when you sit there and you say, well, that's 12.37.
you could take an average and come up with something there and then correct as we go. That would be something maybe to talk to the new treasurer about.
Okay.
You could, for example, we've accrued a couple things from last year to this year because things haven't gotten paid and we know pretty much how much that is. So, yeah, we could, yeah, you could do that.
It'd be nice to be able to look at that.
I will talk to the auditors about that and see what they say. I mean, you could take, for example, the state income tax, of course, that's a bad one. Because see, we took in 56,000 last month, but we took in 90-some thousand the month before. So it's,
Up and down.
yep. But you could say, you could divide 1.1 million by
That was
12.
sales, that was sales tax?
I'm sorry, income tax.
Okay.
You could take 1.1 million and divide it by 12 and just shove it in there and eventually it should work out about right. But depends on what you guys want to do.
I kind of like knowing the actual, I know what
Where we are
in
versus,
reality.
well, yeah, but yeah.
See, we've collected no property tax and we won't for another few months. And that's 1.338 million.
Yeah, and that's understandable.
And then a lot more property taxes that went up.
Yeah. Don't bring
Well,
that
it won't be
up.
right there though.
You're out of order, Dan.
Right, Carl?
But you know, this, when you look at this too, if you look at that back page, versus what we just talked about, the 1.338 million in property tax, it makes you realize how much of the income that we have to work with comes from other sources. And that was something I did not realize. You know, I just thought, well, we
You're talking
operate
about the
off.
final page, the very
Yeah.
last one?
Yeah, because, you know, I just thought, well, we're operating off of property taxes. Well, that's really not a very big piece of our pie.
And then on page 3, transfer in reimbursements of expenditures. That's safety tax that gets shoved into the mix, which is a big deal.
And then we had a discussion about the 911 board and the payments due to the county for that. Does any of that come to fruition, or
We have not reached an agreement yet.
okay?
We're working with them
And that's
we're
due-
sharing
that's-
thoughts, and that's what Samantha talked about, is
Okay.
that agreement.
I had a little confusion with that the other day. What portion, how much of that goes back into the county? I mean, how
If
much
you
do
look
they
at,
owe
on
right now?
page 2, unfund, about 3/4 of it way down, fund 4405, it'll say sheriff 911 dispatch reimbursement, 196,000, that was budgeted based on what the past intergovernmental agreement was. And currently there's 0 in the fund.
So they're $196,000 in arrears because of the.
No, because it
no.
would be divided by
It would
4.
be divided
Oh,
by
I'm
4
sorry. I'm
quarterly
sorry.
payments.
Yeah.
It would be divided by 4
So
quarterly
before
payments.
I'm sorry.
So we're
Yeah.
2 quarters behind, a
One
quarter,
quarter this year.
1 quarter last year. Yeah.
So next Monday, the 13th, at 1 o'clock, we meet at the training center out on Cherry Point. The 911 board will be meeting, that's their regular meeting, they'll be discussing the payments and stuff. If you're interested in coming to that.
I am. I would like to know.
1 o'clock next Monday at training center.
1 o'clock next Monday.
There's a lot to talk about.
That's close to home, I can make that.
Dude,
Let's see, other agenda, go ahead, Carl.
when we got done, I was gonna ask these gentlemen over here if they have any comments or questions on anything.
Jeff, does that per diem start now?
No,
Or
no.
like at the end of my
2
term?
years.
End of my term?
It starts December 1st.
Okay.
For these 3 guys
Okay.
and Bill Stiff.
So now if
Everybody else,
I have 2 meetings one day, I turn in 2 meetings.
But nothing
You do
changes.
just
Nothing
everything the
changes.
same way you have been,
Okay.
right? 2 meetings, 2.
Okay, I don't want to get in trouble, so I just want.
Right.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Nancy said that she will be at the county board meeting to discuss COBRA, because she can say it better than we can.
okay, that sounds fine. Okay. Looking at the agenda, let's see, we've got salary resolution we just talked about, approved committee assignment. We're gonna propose a audit committee for personnel and payroll, to make sure we're expanding and doing everything we need to be doing. For example, some of the stuff even that should include the audit of work comp. So, let's see, expanded services, Paycom. Of course, we talked about starting the process of seeking bids for the jail and the process that's gonna go through. Authorize advertisements of seeking bids for the ambulance service in special area number 2. That's the one around Christmas. And then appoint Tim Hansel, Craig Henry, and Dale English to the Edgar County Farmland Committee. I asked Tim to do it at least until he takes office. Most of their activity will be during the summer, so he was gracious enough to say yes. So those are the major things on the agenda. Does anybody have any questions about those? I think we need to have a closed session.
Did Augie want to report?
Oh, yes, Augie,
Yeah,
are you there?
I'm here.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
I
No,
got wound up.
good, let's move on. Got a basketball game to get to tonight.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for including us.
Yeah, I think in his capacity as a police officer for the city of Paris. We would like Chris, if he can, stay. Okay?
And Jesse.
And Jessica, yeah, I'm sorry. So, hearing nothing more to come before the meeting, and we're gonna go into closed session to talk about personnel. I entertain a motion to go into closed session for that reason. Lisa moves. Andy seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We are going into closed session. We thank you all, please.
You might.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hey,
Yeah, we're on.
yep.
We can talk, I mean,
Yeah, I thought that
we
was the
can
idea.
continue the conversation, but he can listen to it, I don't care.
I am happy. I know I'm hated, and I'm sure of it. So I am happy to make a public statement on camera, on audio and video with anyone present that I have zero faith in the sheriff's leadership, and that I, as a county board member, do not want the liability that he is causing our taxpayers.
Don't we want to come up with this, and I'm not saying that everybody's gonna agree with this, come up with a statement we can all make
I would say
and make
that
it
would be great.
into a resolution, or at least a formal formal motion, list out why, and for these very reasons.
I am happy to take that on, if
Who was
you
the
all
sheriff
would
when
like
they
that.
closed the jail? Who was the sheriff when they closed the jail?
That was Sheriff Jeff Wood
Yes,
as
it
well.
was.
And that was
Yeah.
the Department of
we
Correction,
dealt
the
with it.
Division of Corrections, this is the Division of Dispatch.
But still,
So
same
I
person.
I'm happy to draft that for you all to take a look at. But I do not like the taxpayers being on the hook for any pending or future lawsuits that are a result of his, a leadership that we all as a group do not agree on.
But I don't think even, I don't disagree. I don't think even with that, though, that removes us from liability.
Not gonna change.
I don't think
So
it
we're still-
removes us from liability, but I think, it's discoverable.
Does it highlight any issues?
Sure.
I mean, what I'm saying is, does it negatively affect us by highlighting? I'm just playing devil's advocate. By
Sure.
I'm sure it probably does to a degree.
Sure, but any of these calls on these phone lines are FOIAble. Any of these,
News agencies.
news agencies are already, digging into some things, and
Didn't you say they were already on?
So if you want it, if you
WCIA
want
is
this to
already
have ultimate
requested
visibility
statement.
quickly, then the resolution needs to be made tomorrow, and we need a special meeting, because
Yeah,
we
but
gotta
we
get an
can't address it
agenda.
Wednesday, this.
It's gotta be on
Fine.
Can't be
Thursday,
Wednesday, yeah,
yeah.
Thursday or
Too late.
Friday at the latest, because
Too
if it's
late.
gonna be on WCIA, we want that option to present as
My
well.
thing is, as much as that's a step in the right direction, I don't think putting Philip on the spot in this meeting gives him the chance to do his due diligence and
Correct.
research.
Right.
And we need that.
right, reason why we have it.
You mean, give him a week or two public, give him
Yeah.
him and Rick
Right.
a chance to kind of do their thing?
But with,
See what options
And
we
Rick
have.
may, Rick may have something that,
Right.
I don't know.
See what options we have.
We were
These-
just saying that
Are these dispatch,
rather
people
than
in the dispatch,
going
are
off
they,
half,
are they
not that we'd be half
able
cocked
to be
in
competent?
coming up
Be
with
able to
some
do it?
action
Because
that
my
board
concern
meetings
is what's
special.
going on
We can't do it
right
by
now.
Wednesday. Maybe we should let you have an opportunity, you and Rick, to get together
I can give him a
and
call
for a week or two,
Right.
hold off, and maybe then we can approach things a little less hectic. Does that, and allow you to do your job?
You can make the sheriff.
Even
I mean,
though,
ultimately, it will be the county board's decision.
I understand that, but
We're taking,
I feel like
Rick
giving
may
you
have
the
to give it
15
authority.
minutes on the spot in that chair saying, what can we do? And you're like, oh, you haven't had a chance to do your research.
And you haven't had a chance to consult with anybody either. So I think that's fair, and then we'll address it late week or first of next week, no later than. If that's, unless there's something we don't know that's coming up that's good. Do you have any big cases or?
Lauren should be here, I should be able, if I have anything, I can have her
Okay.
handle it.
All right. And we'll put the bid, or the advertisement for the jail and all that in abeyance for right now. This is a whole lot more important than that is, okay?
I just wanna say thank you to the board for listening. I wanna say thank you to Jeff for allowing Jesse and Chris to stay in session as firsthand witnesses, because this is the
Always.
type of stuff that I hear on the daily. And I think that the more that you two that are gonna remain here understand the state of affairs, the more educated you can be in helping some of those decisions.
I respect Jesse's and Chris's view on a lot of
Thank you.
things. We don't always agree on everything, but I certainly respect where you stand.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn. Samantha and Dan.
To come out of a closed session.
No, we already did that.
Oh, we already did that, sorry.
You're fine. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. We're out. Thank you all for your commitment.